Congressman Rufus Rodriguez galit na galit doon sa pahayag niya sa Kamara na bakit hanggang ngayon di pa naipapatupad yung cut o pag-cancel ng excise tax ng langis. Supposed to be April 9 pala ang effectivity. Ngayon, April 13 na. 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 days nang delay. Sabi niya, we are holding the office of the President accountable to the sufferings of the Filipino people. Wow. Salamat, Congressman Rufus Rodriguez. Pakinggan natin.
Act 12316 was approved on March 25 and published by the official gazette on the same day. Therefore, it would have been effective on April 9. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 5 days, Mr. Chairman. It should have already been first recommended by DBCC, the Energy Department, and the President. Chair already suspended. He has all the powers granted by Congress. And we are saying that any delay, Mr. Chairman, will make our people suffer, especially the transport sectors and everybody, because of the rise of commodity prices. So I'd like to know, did we not consider this, DOE, DBCC, and the Office of the President, that we are already 5 days not yet suspended when it could have been done April 9 for our people, Mr. Chairman?
There.
Mr. Chair.
Walang makasagot.
Wala eh. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. First, the DOE, the DBCC, and the Office of the President. We are holding all of you accountable for the suffering of the Filipino people, which is now 5 days. Can you imagine lifting 3 pesos LPG, lifting gasoline? Gasoline now is 160 to 170 per liter. I mean, diesel, 160 to 70. 110 to 120 gasoline. Do you know?
Yusek Sales, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chair, the DOE has submitted their recommendation on the suspension of the excise tax. We had meetings at the Office of the Executive Secretary since 1.5 weeks ago, sir. 1 week ago.
Oh, na-recommend naman pala eh.
Mr. Chair. Can we hear first from any representative from the DBCC? The DOF sits as the chairman of the DBCC. Go ahead, Yusek.
Your Honor, the DBCC has already submitted the recommendation even before the effectivity of the law to the Office of the President.
The chairman, so therefore you are seeing that the President is at fault. Why we still don't have this suspension? 5 days now, Mr. Chairman. DBCC, Energy.
Huh?
Can you answer that question, Yusek? Go ahead. Can you state? I cannot read your name, Yusek. My apologies. Ligon. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Rolando Ligon po.
When did the law become effective?
April 9 po.
Ikampanya niyo si Lenny for the suffering of the...
Grabe oh. April 9, dapat sana wala na tayong excise tax. Effective na yung batas. Nirecommend na ng DOE at saka yung DBCC. Ba yun? So it's up to the Office of the President o Executive Secretary na tutulog sa pansitan. Kaya mabuti na lang at meron tayong matatapang na kongresista katulad ni Congressman Rufus Rodriguez na matapang na nagpa-follow up. Salamat po, Congressman Rodriguez. Pinagmamalaki ka namin dito sa Cagayan de Oro. Rapi Selga, how much did the government collect from excise tax and VAT since fuel crisis start. Nako, tiba-tiba sila. Malaki. Nestorio Auditor, it is the job of the Executive Secretary to remind the President or the President itself to execute the law. Pag-aralan daw po muna, no need to panic. Ganyan talaga ang ating Presidente. Slow bagal. Roel Andam, why did you meet the Executive Secretary, Dewey? Totoo ba ng usap-usapan na wala na ang boss nyo? Then, hindi ba obvious na walang pakialam ang admin ngayon? Yes. Wala silang, ang kanilang is ayo-ayuda lang. Maligaya na sila makapagbigay ng ayuda. Yan lang ang tanging magagawa nila. Kailang yung hakbang na matulungan ang lahat, wala. Kasi itong tanggalin na nila ang excise tax sa VAT, nako, everybody happy. Bakit ayaw nila? Masayangan sila sa buwis? Nagreklamo na nga ang Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry through its Vice President for Trade and Industry, Brian Ang. Sabi nila nga, mawawalan daw ng gobyerno ng 210 billion kung tanggalin ang excise at VAT ng langis. Yung flood control nga, sabi nila, for 2 years, 450 billion ang ibinadget nila na wala mang pakinabang sa taong bayan. Bakit hindi nila kayang i-sakripisyo yung 210 billion? Kasi crisis ngayon, survival mode tayo. Ang taga Malacanang kasi, hindi nila maramdaman ang hirap kasi hindi sila bumibili ng, libre sila ng gasolina at everything dahil may pundo na sa kanila. Tayo, taong bayan, tayo ang taxpayer. Kawawa tayo. Kaya, yes, we are holding the office of the President for this delay. Again, salute to Congressman Ropos Rodriguez. Attorney Mans Carpio files petition against Subpuena for BP Sara's tax records. The House Committee on Justice has reportedly received a copy of the petition filed by Attorney Manasseh Mans Carpio, spouse of Vice President Sara Duterte, asking the Quezon City Regional Trial Court for the issuance of a 72-hour or 20-day temporary restraining order against the submission of their income tax returns. This follows the panel's subpoena towards the Bureau of Internal Revenue in producing Carpio and Duterte's tax record starting 2007 to 2025 in relation to the impeachment complaints against the Vice President. Ito. So, hindi sa Supreme Court ito Regional Trial Court. Doon dumulog si Attorney Mans Carpio, husband ni BP, para pigilan yung Bureau of Internal Revenue na sinubpuena ng Committee on Justice na isubmit nyo ang mga income tax return ni itong mag-asawang Carpio from 2005 to 2025. Submit. Okay. Isa sa mga grounds the impeachment ni BP Sara is unexplained wealth. Kasi yung theory, theory lang ito walang ebidensya. I think sa fourth impeachment complaint ito nakalagay, yung grounds na unexplained wealth. Sinasabi ni Congressman Ridon, unexplained wealth yan si BP Sara. Dahil noong 2005, 18 million lang ang kanilang net worth. After 16 years, naging 88 million na. Oh, ang laki yung pagtaas. Unexplained wealth. Tanong, nasaan yung ebidensya? Wala. Yan lang pagkakaintindi ko yung fourth impeachment complaint, diyan nailagay yung reklamo na unexplained wealth. Kaya lang, walang attachment. Hindi maipakita kung papaano lumaki yung net worth ng mag-asawa Duterte, Carpio Duterte, from 18 million to So kung iakyat nila yung impeachment complaint na walang naka-attach na ebidensya, sigurado mababasura sa trial sa Senado, impeachment trial sa Senado dahil walang ebidensya eh. Assumption lang. Generalization na bakit tumaas after 16 years? Paano nyo na-produce? Paano kayo kumita ng 70 million? Ay wala silang ebidensya na unexplained wealth. Kaya ngayon, ito na yung fishing expedition. Nagsusubpwe na sila. Sabi nga ni Congressman Joel Chua na gusto naming solid evidence. Kaya nagproproduce kami, nagdadagdag kami ng additional dokumento para solid yung ebidensya, para pag-akyat sa impeachment court, malakas yung ebidensya namin. Tanong, trabaho ba yon ng Committee on Justice? Na sila yung nagsisilbing fiscal o prosecutor. Wala pa akong, ayan, si Attorney Spoke Farulan, isang abogado. Sabi niya, saan ka nakakita ng prosecutor na siya na yung nagproproduce ng ebidensya in favor para sa complainant? Saan ka nakakita? Ibig sabihin, wala. Ulitin ko na naman, experience ko ito, kaibigan ko, sinampahan ng reklamo sa piskalya way back 2024. So yung complainant, nag-submit, makapal yung kanyang ebidensya. Kung yung folder pa, ganito kakapal. Oh. So yung inakusahan na kaibigan ko, nag-submit ng kanyang counter affidavit, wala siyang inattach na ebidensya. Counter affidavit lang na hindi totoo yan. Gano'n lang, no evidence whatsoever. Parang si BP Sara din ngayon, na hindi na siya nag-submit ng ebidensya niya sa Committee on Justice. Wala lang. Answer out kutilam lang. So, ang ginawa ng fiscal dito sa kaibigan ko, inibiruit niya, kita niya, uy, ang kapal ng ebidensya. Inakyat nila ang kaso sa korte. Kaya lang yung fiscal, wala siyang idinagdag. Walang idinagdag. Inakyat lang sa korte. Pagdating sa korte, binasura ka agad dahil yung makapal na ebidensya walang laman o walang bigat, wala. Puros na-acquit yung kaibigan ko sa pamamagitan ng demurrer to evidence. Ano yan? After the presentation of witnesses, evidences ng prosecution, ang abogado ng kaibigan ko, nag-manifest na sa judge. Judge, can I file a demurrer of evidence dahil wala silang ebidensya laban sa aking kliyente. Inaprubahan man ng judge. Okay, submit your demurrer to evidence. After 2 weeks, yun na, lumabas na. Dismiss ang kaso. Kasi nga, kahit ganyan kakapal yung ebidensya na isinabit ng complainant, walang saysay. Ganyan ang sistema natin. Bakit ngayon itong Committee on Justice, sila ang nagproproduce ng ebidensya, in favor sa complainant. Oh, so anong itawag diyan? Justice, Committee on Justice sila o Committee on what? Oh, bahala na kayo.